momentarily the man of the hour, of course, creator Splitgate Ian Prue, also co-founder of 1047 Games and CEO of 1047 Games, wants to talk directly to all of you. So please bear with us as he's probably wrapping up another important meeting. Also getting
Oh,
some
there we go.
up here. There we go. What's up, Cardinal? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I have, we talked to the pros. I spoke with the pros today, and everybody was very understanding, which I was really happy about. Seems like most people I've chatted with have been pretty understanding, which is obviously uh, a relief. Um, but overall, I'm just excited to be able to finally kind of break the news and be transparent about this because it's been, we want to tell you guys everything, obviously, and we want to be community first. And with this decision, it's one of those big decisions where you can't talk about it, right? And as much as we wanted to talk about this a month ago, we couldn't. And so now, finally, being able to share this is really nice. So I'm feeling good.
All right. Well, a lot of information to unpack. We had our initial letter, which I hope everyone here has read, but also we had an FAQ with a lot of nuanced information. So if you guys haven't seen that, definitely check the one of the recent announcements. Lookit.com/FAQ has a lot of important information. But in a few minutes we're gonna go ahead and do a Q&A anyways, and answer your questions directly here on this town hall because it wouldn't be a town hall if it didn't have a Q&A. So yeah. Anyways, anything else you wanted to share, Ian, about the decision making process, or about the current game, the future game, stuff like that?
I mean, the main thing I'll say is just I'm very excited, and I know that this was probably tough for some people to hear, but I think the overwhelming feeling internally is one of excitement. We really have a lot of big things planned for this next game, and obviously, Splitgate started off as a school project. I don't know if everyone knows that, but that was literally my senior project in college at Stanford. And there's a lot of stuff that we did really well. The gunplay, the portal mechanic. There's a lot of really, really awesome things. I love Splitgate. I mean, I still play it regularly. But there's also a lot of things we want to do differently that it's just we've learned a ton over the past 5+ years. And, this allows us to build something that I think can truly be special and can go compete with the biggest games out there. And ultimately, that's the goal here, right? We want to build something that has the player base that you guys deserve, that has, the player base we had when we first launched this thing on console, and even bigger than that. And this is what we think is going to allow us to get there.
Well said. Okay. Um, I think there's some probably a lot of questions out there answered in the FAQ. Once again, if you're just joining, um, we wanna hear your questions. So make sure you raise your hand, and we'll try to get to as many of you as possible for this hour. But please check splitgate.com/FAQ, and there's a lot of information beyond just the letter that we shared with you guys today. So, anyways, well, how about we just start answering some questions? Ready? Okay, let's see. Yeah,
Ready?
go ahead and raise your hand. Some of you. Oh, my Discord's glitched. There's too many people. Hold on. Okay, now it's back. All right, let's start with this guy. Kennedy raises his hand.
Guys, how's it going? Thanks for putting this together. I am interested to talk to all of you. I'm curious, when did you reach this decision internally, and like, what was the process that led you here? Obviously, you're trying to basically build a new foundation because the existing platform isn't capable of doing all of the things that you want to do. But could you speak to,
Yeah.
what those things are and what your timeline has been?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess timeline. So obviously, we launched the beta in July, right? We did the massive fundraise in September, right? We raised 100 million. Right around the fundraise, Nick and I started just thinking about this. It wasn't like, hey, we should go do this. It was more like, what do you think about this? Like, just, do you think we should keep doing this thing? We got all this money, we've got all this hiring we need to do. There's a lot of things we've learned, and sort of the reality of it is like we've got this really, really fun and special game that it's very special, it's very unique. Um, but there's so much more we could do with this thing if we started over, right? I mean, not started over, but if we kind of had a clean slate. And so that was kind of the first time we had any sort of conversation, and it was just me and my co-founder Nick. We didn't tell anybody about this. We didn't tell we didn't tell any of the marketing people. We didn't tell any of the team. We didn't tell any of the investors. It was just sort of me and Nick having a question of like, yeah, that's kind of an interesting thought. Um, I think in December was the first time we had more of like a more meaningful conversation. And I got Akuvo's opinion on it as well. Um, and again, it wasn't like a serious conversation. It was just sort of like, yeah, I don't know, guys. Like, you know, what do you think? Like, we want your opinion, Derek. Like, this could make a lot of sense in the future. Um, but okay, we've got a new beta season coming. The server issues are mostly under control. Like, again, let's just table this idea for now. Let's keep going. Then we did beta season 1, and beta season 1, we learned a lot, which was good. I think especially from marketing, it was a learning experience for us. And we're not spending a ton of money on marketing, but we're testing things. We're trying to see what can we learn. And I don't think beta season 1 from a marketing perspective went particularly well. And so we decided, okay, we got to do beta season 2. And we need to, we want to do a different approach to our marketing. More kind of guerrilla marketing, more creative. We did kind of the clever stuff with the Halo content creators. And actually, Hillary Noob in the Tube he joined in February actually, and just really brought a lot of creative marketing to the table. So we figured, let's do a beta season 2. We think marketing is going to be much better on this one, and that'll kind of inform our decision. So the first time we really talked to a little bit of a broader group was in May. And again, we're talking like a handful of employees, but not by any means everybody. And we just sort of said, let's see how beta season 2 goes. And if this goes really well, like, we'll keep doing this thing, but let's see where we're at. If this doesn't really move the needle, then I think we need to strongly consider making some more drastic changes to our game plan. And so that happened. Then in June, beta season 2 came out. I think from a marketing perspective, it was actually a huge success. Like in terms of the number of eyeballs, in terms of just the visibility we had on the game, it was significantly better than beta season 1. But it didn't really end up translating to downloads. I think you've got a lot of people who um, really like Splitgate, who played it when it came out, but they've sort of formed their opinion on it at this point. And this kind of iterative approach where we are updating old stuff while trying to release new stuff, while hiring a ton of people and trying to onboard them, it sort of turned into this thing where it's the worst of both worlds instead of the best of both worlds. So it was very inefficient for us development wise, and it was very inefficient and ineffective marketing wise. And so in June, we really, I guess, end of June or early July is when we finally said, okay, this is the decision. We talked about it with the leadership team, I think end of June, made the decision. And then in early July, told the whole company, like, all right, guys, this is the plan. We're going to slowly start transitioning people towards the next game. And at that point, we had a general idea of the changes we wanted to make, not like a specific, like, yeah, this is exactly what the next game looks like, but more of like, yeah, these are some of the things we'd like to accomplish with the next game that we can't do on the first one, on Splitgate. And so that's when we kind of started thinking about it, and then came up with a plan. And but yeah, I guess final decision was made early July.
Cool. Thanks for
Thank
that
you,
insight. I
Kennedy.
guess.
Oh, you have another
Can I ask
question? Real quick.
Yeah, if you don't mind. So it sounds like there's two real motivators here. There's the things that you're not able to do with the game right now without a lot of like development time that might be better spent on a new game, and then need to reset the market and the perception of the game, like the general gaming community has already formed its opinion on Splitgate. Would you say that are those equal factors? Is one outweighing the other?
I think there's more factors than just that. Those are the two primary ones. I think it's also just, which I guess is more towards development side. There's also just the factor of like we really want to focus on the long term and not the short term. So like a perfect example. One of the things we announced today is the next game's being built in Unreal Engine 5, right? That's a big undertaking. I think in the long run, that is really going to set us up for long term success, right? We want to make a game that's around for the next 10 plus years. Um, we don't want to be on old technology that started off as a school project, right? Um, and so I think that's one consideration where, when we have these constant beta seasons, we don't ever have the time to kind of take our time and upgrade and take a massive undertaking like that, because it's always focused on, well, we got to get the next feature out the door. We got to get the next season out the door, right? And so this allows us to say, hey, let's take a step back. Let's build for the future, not for the past, not for the present, right? But I would say, I guess, to kind of answer your question, it's really 50-50. Both of these were big considerations, and there's a couple other little things that went into our decision, but those are the primary things.
Cool. Well, thanks for answering the questions. I work for ArenaNet and Go Wars 2 team, and we play a lot of your game internally, a lot of LAN parties.
Awesome.
So
I
appreciate what you guys
appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
everyone.
Kennedy. All right, moving on to the next one. Clearwater, inviting you to speak. Got your hand up, and once again, check out our FAQs.
Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep, we hear you.
Okay.
For it.
Sorry. Okay, so first thing I want to say is my heartiest and most sincere congratulations to you all for making what it has been possibly one of the most fun free-to-play games that I have ever played ever. The amount of
Thank you.
work and quality that you've put into this game is just absolutely astounding, and I've just enjoyed every single minute I've played of this game. So heartiest and most sincere congratulations to you all for putting off an absolutely stellar job. So the main question I'd like to ask you all is one of the major positive aspects that the game and the community has was the constant, or at least near constant, transparency and communication between various aspects of the community. The communication between the developers, the community managers such as Endo, the players themselves in the Discord, and various other places on social media. The main question I'd like to ask here is during this transitional period between Splitgate essentially being sunsetted in a way and the development on the new game starting, the main question I'd like to ask is can we expect a high level of communication and transparency to continue even during this transitional period? When I ask this, I refer to things sort of like teasing for stuff, weekly devlog updates, and that sort of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it's a great question, and I'll just say, like, the last couple months have been particularly hard for us because we want to be transparent, and we see questions and posts, and it's like, man, we want to say all the right things, but right now we just can't be as transparent as we want to be. I think with the next game, a lot is still being figured out about, how are we going to roll it out? I mean, even the details of the actual game itself. We have sort of a rough idea of what it's going to look like, but there's still a lot of things that are going to be tested and thrown away. There's going to be things that we think are good ideas that end up being bad ideas that we change, right? So I definitely think we do want to involve the community in some capacity, and I'll say, sign up for our email list. Like, the best way that you can learn anything about the new game is to sign up on that list. That's where we're going to be sharing stuff. We haven't figured out exactly when we want to start sharing things, and how much we want to share. But we'll certainly be doing a beta at some point, right? We'll certainly be, showing stuff off at some point. But this game is still it's a big, big undertaking, so it's a ways away.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you very much for answering.
Yeah,
Thank you,
sorry I don't have
Clearwater.
a more specific answer to that, but
It's
appreciate
okay.
the
It's
question.
understandable. I think there's at some point there's some stuff that can't really be talked about until development on it has continued a bit and you feel more confident and ready to show it off.
Yeah.
I'll just add to that really quickly as the person who largely influences that decision as the marketing guy here, which is like they're kind of like two approaches, right? That you can take, which is a very transparent, like even pre-alpha, we're just like sharing and talking about everything with the understanding of like, hey, some stuff you see in here isn't going to be real and all that kind of stuff. And then there's obviously the more maybe traditional like let's announce when things are very solid and have a very short runway from announce to like having a beta and a launch. And we are more leaning towards that way. We want to try to balance, who we are as a company as being very community forward. That communication though may be a lot more um, like through like private channels. So we're going to involve the community in different ways, but we might not be saying anything very publicly. And that's because Ian said, right, things are going to keep shifting, and we don't. I think we don't want people to start having an expectation that we need to make a change for, and people feel disappointed because they've been waiting for a certain type of feature or whatever. But the other part is, one of our challenges in this decision is, for the game to be successful and for us to feel good about it, like we need audience at scale, right? Like we think we have a good product, but we've not been able to recapture the magic of when we first launched on console a year ago. And so we're very cognizant of like we need to have another moment, and a lot of our decisions on how we communicate, when we communicate, isn't we don't want to do a disservice to our community and who we are as a company as being very community forward, but we also know that the thing that is going to serve the community the most is having a large group of people to play with, right? And having that moment. And those things may kind of be in conflict with each other. But I think we're going to err more towards we want to be the next Apex. Like, I'll just put it out there. Like, that's what we want to be, right? We want to be a movement. And I think our for early thinking is that means much more being close to the vest until we're
Yeah.
really ready to show stuff, which is unfortunate, and isn't like
I
that.
think we'll be more
Just wanted to
transparent. We're not, to be clear, we're not taking the Apex approach of just like silence and then all of a sudden, here you
Yeah.
go, here's the game.
Mm.
But yeah, to Hillary's point, I mean, we're not shy about the fact that like we're trying to be the next Apex, or I even go as far as say the next Fortnite. But we have very, very high ambitions with this game. What we did with a tiny team and a fraction of our budget with Splitgate, I mean, it doesn't happen, you know. Uh, with this next game, we're taking everything to the next level. We've got the team to do it. We've got the budget to do it. We've got the time to do it. We've got the the formula to do it. And there's changes we need to make, but that is the goal here. We want to be the next big thing.
All right, we've got, let's see here, 9 questions in the queue. Let's keep this moving along.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Clearwater.
much for your time, and again, congratulations for making an absolute belter.
We
of
really
the game.
appreciate that. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
No
Okay,
problem.
moving on. Next one, Hubristics. Invite you over here. Hubristics, that's a name I recognize from the last Discord stage we did a long time ago. Let us know. I sent you the invite. TikTok. Okay, no response. Gonna move on to the next one. Sorry. When I get to as many questions as possible during this hour, and this hour is going to fly by. I guarantee it. Reem, come on up. How's it going? We can't hear you right now.
Hello, can you hear me now?
There we go.
All right, perfect. Okay, so just wanted to start this off by saying I've been following this game for years. I played it first at a PAX convention,
Nice.
and it's easily my favorite shooter out there. So yeah, I saw this announcement. I had just one simple question, and maybe it's not that simple, but so this being on Unreal 5, how different will the gunplay and like just the overall, running, sprinting physics, how different do you think those are going to feel? Is it going to be a drastic change?
No, I would not expect it to feel much different at all. I mean, there will be changes, but in terms of overall feel, I mean, it's the bread and butter Splitgate gunplay that, I mean, that's what we do best, right? And that's what we're going to continue to do.
Awesome. That is great news.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, Reem.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, next question going to come from Christian Mag. Just invited you.
Hi.
Hey.
Christian.
Okay, well, first off, I know I haven't played the game much, but I just wanted to say thanks for making what could well be one of the best arena shooters made since the 90s.
Thank you.
And the question was, in the announcement, you said there was going to be more of a focus on revolutionary as opposed to evolutionary changes. What would this mean from a gameplay perspective, if you don't mind my asking, if you've got any of that worked out yet?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Hillary, if you want to take this, but I don't think we're ready to say much yet. I think the main thing I'll say is this is going to be more than just, hey, we took Splitgate and we gave it pretty graphics. That's not the goal here. We want to keep doing what we do well, which is amazing gunplay and an awesome portal mechanic. But there are other changes we want to make this thing bigger and better and just generally more awesome, but still stay true to our core.
Makes sense. And just wording. One more question.
Yep.
So okay, basically you're treating this as not. You're treating this like an actual new game rather than what some companies do, which is effectively same game, new coat of paint. Please buy it.
Well, it's free,
Does
so.
this
but
true?
but yes.
Does this mean that we can expect to see some of the things that are in Splitgate, like the map creator, in the next game as well, or?
So yeah, I'll just I'll hop in here. So we're not really talking about the next game yet. So all we can say is it's going to be a shooter. It'll be in the Splitgate universe. It's going to have portals built in Unreal Engine 5, and it will be a free game. So we're not going to make a premium game. But for now, that's all we can really talk about. So we're not going to talk about any of the features or functions of it right now.
And if I can chime in real quick, like today's announcement was about, we are in development of Splitgate, the current game. And the reason for that is because we're focusing on the next game. So technically, I guess this is an announcement of a new game, but like we haven't announced anything really. If you think about it, like that's the bottom line.
This is an announcement of a shift in focus. This is not an announcement of a new game.
Yep. Thanks,
Right.
Christian.
Thank you for taking time to answer my questions.
Yeah, have a good one.
Yeah, thanks, Christian.
Okay, we're moving on to Nade. Nade, the developer of Cross Planets, longtime OG player of Splitgate. How's it going?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi,
Yes.
Nade.
Yeah, it's been a while since I spoke to a few of you. My question is more so about the company. Has there ever been any kind of internal discussions besides obviously making games, more so leaning towards becoming a publisher or anything within that area? Obviously, with the investment comes a lot of opportunities for you guys. So, I'm just wondering if you ever thought about helping other startups and indies and stuff like that. Obviously, given my role right now, you can imagine why I'm asking a question like this.
Yeah. I mean, I'll start by saying on an informal basis, like hit me up anytime, obviously. Like I know we've spoken before. I'm absolutely happy to hop on a call again and share my thoughts and
Yeah.
offer any advice I can. I think in terms of like an actual formal publishing deal, we're not doing anything. We've got a lot on our plates and we don't want to get distracted, right? One of the reasons we are telling you all like, hey, we're ending development effectively is because we want to be 110% all in, focused on one thing. And maybe in the future, once we get this one thing out the door and successful, when it's up there with all the other big games and it's sustainable, then we can start shifting focus towards stuff like that. But yeah, for now, for the foreseeable future, just 110% all in on this next game.
Yep. I have one small other question. I don't know if you'll be able to answer this one, but is there any kind of development timeline? Usually I think games roughly go with a 3 or 4 year development timeline. Have you got any idea how long this might take you to make?
It's the only thing I think we're going to say is it's not going to be in 2023.
Okay. Yep. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Nade. Always good to
Thanks,
hear from
Nade.
you.
Yeah, you as well.
All right, moving on. Let me explain TV. You're invited to speak. One of our community creators, as it looks like. Please come on up. Looks like he's checking his phone. There we go. How's it going, man?
Hey guys. Um, I have a quite well, okay. Let's start here. Is it no more Splitgate at all, or is it a whole new game?
You mean for? Okay, well, I'll answer this question in two ways. First off, we're not shutting down Splitgate. You know, you can still play it. Servers are still online. And actually, one of the big reasons we really pushed to get the feature of map creator maps in playlists was for this very reason. We want to be able to still maintain a community and give you guys content without requiring dev resources. So we're going to really be leaning heavily towards, really leaning on the map creator community to make stuff that others can enjoy. The second way I'll answer it. So this next game, um, it's still in the Splitgate universe. It's still a shooting game. It still has portals. So we're not going to go make some random, totally new game that has nothing to do with Splitgate.
Oh, okay. All right. Wow, that was fast. Okay.
Yeah, thanks for your
Yes.
question.
Thanks for the question. Hopefully that answered it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, moving on to the next one. Flame TM. You are invited to speak.
Um, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Well, to be honest, I just wanted to say first that thank you guys so much for making this game. Because like a lot of people, to be honest, I've never had this much fun in a well-balanced game since Halo Reach. So, yeah. Um,
What's your question?
I wanted to ask about one thing I didn't understand in the frequently asked questions about. Uh, I guess you guys can't say it maybe, but just asking for to make sure about the things that we have in Splitgate. Are they gonna transfer, or is just completely new game and you guys are gonna make some kind of compensation for people that already play and spent money on Splitgate, like in-game cosmetics or split coins?
Do you want to answer that one, Hillary?
I'll take the tough one. Yeah, so we don't have anything to announce in terms of what you said, which is any kind of reward or compensation based on your
Hmm.
work in the current game. That's something we're interested in, but we also can't commit to that because it is a new product. We do have to have a way to actually even be able to identify people's
Hmm.
accounts and connect that with a new one. So we don't know if that's going to technically be possible for us, depending. So on that end, we don't want to commit to anything because we don't know that we could actually do it if we wanted to. But on the idea of skins and everything transferring, I know our expectation is that you won't be able to transfer anything, and that is because we're not just updating Splitgate.
Hmm.
This isn't going to be Splitgate 1.5 what we make, and so there is not going to be a way for those skins to easily just like appear throughout the game. And this is just me personally. I find that most games where there is a collection element to it, right? So getting skins, getting characters, whatever it is, like part of the fun is the chase of all those things. And so I think it would be very hard to bring in like hundreds of skins from an old game that you already have. Like it
Hmm.
sort of kills some of that chase element to it too. So, this is going to be a new product within the
Yeah,
Splitgate
and
universe,
I'll
but I
just
do make
add
that
to that.
expectation.
Yeah, I'll add two things to that. One, like we absolutely do want to do right by our existing player base. So, we're
Yeah.
exploring the options, but we are hoping to reward people in some way if we can. The people who have been around the longest, and more so than just the random people who pick up the new game. Um, So we're hoping we can do something there. We just can't officially commit to anything yet. The other thing I'll add is, a big part of this new game is finding our own identity. Um, you know, Splitgate started off as a school project that evolved and grew over time and transformed over time. And you've seen some of the work we're capable of with the Abyss remaster and the Foregone remaster. But,
Yeah.
those are the kind of things we mean when we say evolutionary change. That's not a revolutionary change. That's let's take an old map and let's make it look significantly better. We can do that now with the people we've been hiring. But we don't want to just be Halo meets Portal. That was great
Mhm.
when we were a tiny game with no marketing budget and no marketing team really. But we want to have our own identity, and so a lot of the visuals and just art style, it's going to be different. And it's going to be something that hasn't been seen before, and so a lot of the old content kind of contradicts that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right. Thanks for the question, Flame.
Thanks, Flame.
Appreciate everything.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Okay, so just for everyone here, I want to say we have more questions that we've already answered in the queue, and we're halfway through this town hall. So when I invite you to the stage, I ask you to please ask your question directly right away. And for the people answering, also treat it kind of speedily. Thank you. I don't mean to be a harsh radio show host, but I want to get to as many questions as possible. Okay, the Grim Reaper, you are invited to come. What's up?
Oh, yes, sir. I've been having a blast with the builder mode. The only questions I really had was I know you guys are using that to help keep the game rolling. Is there any way to add in like the grouping mechanisms they have in the Unreal Engines where when you build like a structure, you can kind of copy and paste it to expedite the maps and possibly make the portals a little more adjustable and collidable? Because I do have a blast doing that. I've been playing for a while in Devon games for a while. It's fun.
Yeah, I don't think we're making any improvements to Map Creator for Splitgate at this point. We do have one update coming out on the 15th that has a number of bug fixes, and it's got a free battle pass. But no major updates like that, unfortunately. But I'll just say for the next game, without revealing anything, obviously, like we are listening to the feedback for Splitgate. All of the things we hear and see for with regards of how can we improve Splitgate, like those are things that we think about when we make our next game.
Awesome. Yeah, the only other most of the other questions I had were answered. The only other one would you guys are definitely going to do like a pre-beta, like a beta announcement like the other one. We've been playing since Portal Wars, so just making sure
Awesome.
we stay on board with that.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, sign up on our website so you're on the email list. We will definitely be doing some form of beta. We don't have the exact details yet. Obviously, we've got time to figure out
Understandable.
the marketing rollout and everything. But yeah, there's going to be a beta at some point.
Awesome. Yeah, like I said, most questions were answered. I just had a few more on the map designer because that's always a blast doing that stuff. Definitely look forward to the new game.
Thanks, Grim.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, to speed things along a little bit, we're gonna we invite you to the stage, we're gonna let you ask your question, and then please excuse yourself, and then we can move this on really quick. So, all right, moving on to Atomic Blaze. Come on up.
All right. Couple questions. First of all, on the new game, do you intend to bring on the maps in the current Splitgate and the weapons in the current Splitgate?
I would say most things in the new game will be new.
Okay, so mostly new stuff, not really focusing on like the legacy stuff.
Most likely that is correct. Obviously, that may change, and there are fan favorite things that you could see returning at some point. But yeah, we're focused on building for the future.
And one more question. You mentioned that there's like a Splitgate universe. Does that mean that there's like lore behind Splitgate? Like, why are these people engaging? Why are these people
we're
engaging
working on
in
it.
combat? Okay,
Yes, we've
that is
actually
certainly going to be.
hired a creative writer a few months ago, and he's been right. He's been working on the universe, so definitely something we wanna work on.
Pro tip: get on
Okay.
our email list.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I will get
Definitely.
on that. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Branthium Babe, you're invited.
Hi
Welcome.
guys. I don't know if you guys know me, but you probably know me from constantly being the person on Twitter who's like, "Give me more female skins. I want more female skins." So I was super excited to see you guys say something about some of your best female characters yet. And also that kind of leads into my question about what you said about Apex. Obviously, you know, they're very big on representation and lore and like all kinds of character design. So I guess my question is, A, what are you doing differently or planning to do differently when it comes to character design and lore that we haven't seen in Splitgate so far? And what kind of, I guess, pitfalls are you trying to avoid that you've seen maybe other games make versus, you know, what kind of things have you seen done right in games like Apex or Fortnite that you're directly like, okay, this is what we're going for?
Yeah, it's a great question. I wish I could answer it more specifically.
I
What
totally
I'll say,
understand.
it's definitely something we're mindful of. I guess the two things I'll say. Number one, I think you're going to be very happy with the free battle pass coming out in a couple weeks.
I bet.
Um, and I guess number two, I mean, yeah, really all I can say is like we're definitely thinking about these things. We do want to have more female characters, especially in the next game. And yeah, I mean, and we want to have lore. So not a great question, but you know, hopefully that at least gives you an idea of where our
Great
heads are at.
question. Not a great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's great. Thank you guys so much and good luck. Peace out.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, Tyro. Yeah, you're invited. Surprise Pikachu face. MJ can appreciate that.
Yeah, I noticed that. All right. Well, thanks for having me on. Love your game. I've been a daily player for a long time and just wanted to speak from the kind of collector, like hardcore collector perspective as someone who's like collected every single common item in the game. I'm a little curious if you guys have any radical changes you're going to make to the daily drops and monetization, or if you're going to change it so that when you get drops, they're not unique anymore. I think that was a really huge aspect of the game for me, was that you could theoretically collect everything from playing daily. And finally, sorry, it's like a four-part question, but I was wondering if you were going to try and create more customizability of your player characters without having to collect a bunch of common base colors, because that
Yeah.
slog would be nice to skip this time around.
Yeah,
um,
so a lot is up in the air. I guess two things that I will say today. So one thing is the next game, when it comes to just cosmetics in general, we're focused more on quality than quantity this time around. Um, and we're definitely looking at what other games are doing. Yeah, I wouldn't say monetization is like a top priority for us to figure out. You know, we're just gonna basically look at, you know, we're looking at what does Valorant do, what does Apex do, what does Fortnite do. You know, just kind of looking to these other games for inspiration and looking at what's worked well and what people like I said, I don't have an exact answer, even if I wanted to give you one, because this stuff is still being figured out. But the main goal we've set for ourselves is a focus on quality versus quantity when it comes to cosmetics.
for sure. All right. Well, thank you a lot. Just as a note, I guess like it would be, if once you guys do decide what you're going to do to reward players like us who've collected so many items, I think just putting it out there that it would be a little disappointing to like only get like 2 or 3 like legacy items and then call it quits. If you could preserve some of like the seasonal reward challenges or something, that would be amazing too. But yeah, thanks for your time and I love your game. You guys are great.
Thank you. I really
Thanks for the
appreciate it.
feedback. We're gonna have a feedback channel here in this Discord, by the way, for the future game. Obviously, we can't say anything much about the next game, but you can use the current Splitgate game as a springboard for your feedback of a future game. Just letting that out there. Okay, we got a special guest coming up next. Zach's Maxed himself. You're invited. What's up, man?
What's up? So I had a few really quick questions. So first of all, will all unreleased skins for Splitgate get released? Obviously, dev time is no longer being supported, so why not just throw the stuff we have already out there?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think we there are some skins that we're not proud of that probably will never get released because we just don't think they're good enough quality. There's definitely some other skins coming that will get released. You know, like we said in the free battle pass, there's a lot of really good stuff. It's genuinely our best battle pass yet, but the goal here is not to make money right now. The goal is to focus on the community. So, in the next game.
And one last thing, what is the biggest thing you guys have learned from operating a arena shooter in 2022?
Ooh, that's a good question. Huh. How do I answer that without revealing anything?
It's definitely going against the grain, right? Like that's not the trendy thing right now. So yeah, we have to be more creative. That's what I've learned as a community manager. Got to be more creative as a marketer.
I think the main thing I'll say is just like planning ahead is very important. You know, I think especially with an arena shooter, but really for any live service game, you know, well, I guess what I'll say is like a big goal of ours when we do launch the new game is to be ahead of schedule, right? When we launch it, we want to essentially have the next season already done. And the reason for this is, you know, with Splitgate, it's just constantly been playing catch up and try to launch the next thing and barely pull it off, right? So, you know, our last season was 4 months, which was a huge improvement over season 0, which was 6 months. But it was always coming down to the wire, not being able to plan ahead. And that's really difficult for a live service product for a number of reasons. One, you just don't end up having a good plan because you're just kind of constantly playing catch up. It's bad for development because you end up having to crunch at the end, which we never want to do. It's bad for marketing because they can't plan around stuff that's already done. They can't film trailers ahead of time. And so I think the big thing is like for us, the main thing we've learned is we got to be ahead of schedule, not on time, not behind schedule. We need to be ahead of schedule so that we know, okay, this is what the next season's going to look like. And of course, it'll change a little bit as we go and get feedback. But we need to launch this thing and know, okay, this is the next season. This is the story we're going to tell. These are the changes that are going to make. This is how it's going to be interesting. And we got to be on a 3-month schedule, right? You know, we made a lot of progress growing from 6 to 4 months, but that was a very cutting it close, barely pulling it off. When we launch this thing and as the team grows, it should be not a problem at all. But we got to be doing 3-month seasons with lots of new content, which we're not able to do yet. Partly because of the team, partly because we've got a lot of conflicting goals right now, partly because we're on old technology. There's just a lot of reasons that this will allow us to get ahead of schedule and have a game and a live service product that is just much easier to iterate on and make meaningful content updates.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Zach.
Thanks, Zach.
Okay, last 15 minutes of this town hall, we're gonna do lightning round. So this means when you get called up to the stage, please ask your 1 or 2 questions up front. I'm going to dismiss you after that, and we'll answer the question. Just really want to get through as many as we can. We value everyone's thoughts and questions. So Clearwater, you're invited.
Hey, thanks for having me back. So real quick, realistically speaking, in 5, 10, or 20 years, at some point, resources will have to be reallocated and the servers for the main game will need to be pulled at some point. My question is, will there be any efforts to future-proof the game? For example, releasing the master server or the game server binary open to the public. If that's not possible, would you be okay with like the efforts of modders reverse engineering the binaries and making server emulators so people can continue to log in and play the game online?
You mean for Splitgate, the game that's currently out?
For Splitgate, for the current game.
Well, so I think the efforts that we made so far to make this game future proof were, and this was a big focus of ours was let's get this map creator into a state where we can put map creator maps into playlists, right? The best way we can keep this thing relevant is A, through community efforts, through, doing community events and interacting with you guys, and B, through having custom maps where there's always new content. Um, in terms of, you guys having the ability to mod things, I don't think we're going to take the time um, to actually open it up. That would be a pretty big undertaking. Um, but in terms of, I mean, if somebody reverse engineers stuff, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to go on. I mean, it'd be a case by case basis. We'd have to see what people come up with. I don't think I'd have a problem with someone trying to find a way to make this thing stay alive, but yeah, I don't have a great answer, I guess, but I don't think we have the time to do anything meaningful like that. But we certainly, this is the very reason we wanted to open it up to map creators and map creator maps and playlists.
Okay, Dilute. Yes.
Would the plan be for this new game to release DLC or continual updates?
Continual updates. I mean, we'll probably do some DLC skin packs like we've done with Splitgate, right? But I mean, this is going to be a live service product. If you look at what Fortnite or Valorant or Apex or Call of Duty do, I don't see us doing anything crazy different in terms of, monetization or content.
Daisy Lee, you're invited.
Hey, thanks. Your current game with Splitgate is a first-class citizen for Linux gaming and on Steam Deck. Will the new game be Linux native, or will it be supported through Proton? And will the new game have any single-player aspect, or is it solely going to be multiplayer again?
I don't think we're ready to answer anything. I mean, Hillary, do you want to take this? Whatever
Yeah,
you're comfortable sharing. Yeah.
Well, we're not ready to answer any of those questions, but I appreciate you asking.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Wolf Tech Rob, my bad. You're welcome to join.
Hello. Okay, so first question is, any chance you'd convert ongoing Splitgate dev to an unpaid internship program for Academy of Art University? So that way they can get experience. They have a game dev department. And then that way the product doesn't necessarily just, go unsupported. And then the other question was, will there be, if you can answer this, tactical gameplay such as like stealth or bow gameplay for the next project?
So first question, a super interesting idea. I'm open to hearing anyone out. So, I think you can reach out to our email list. I don't think we want to take a big project on like that, but I'm certainly open to discussing creative ideas like that. But obviously that's the first I've ever heard of something like that. So I kind of need time to think about it and hear the details. In terms of the second question, like, will there be tactical gameplay or bows, I think was the question. Like I said, we're not ready to reveal anything about the gameplay at this point. Sorry
Okay,
about
Warp
that. I
Sonic.
wish we could say more, but
What's up, Warp Sonic?
Hi. So about the esports scene, do you guys plan to continue? Will that continue first? Will esports continue? And then do you guys plan on continuing to evaluate and innovate on the format? And as far as like to make it best for the spectators and the players and the teams, to like, or are we just going to keep the same format for foreseeable future? And also, will this new game have a competitive scene, if you guys know yet?
So the current plan for esports, basically, esports is continuing through the remainder of 2022 as planned. So nothing really to change there. I think there's a couple schedule changes. We're having like a big championship tournament at the end of the year, but we're not shrinking or getting rid of any esports stuff for the remainder of the year. Next year is still TBD. We just actually had a call with the pros earlier today. We're still figuring out the details. We are exploring a few options. We would like to do esports in some capacity, probably not to the same degree that we currently are. But esports is definitely a big part of what makes Splitgate special, and I don't see that changing for the next game.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Warp. Sir Pumps a lot. You are invited next.
Hello. Hey, thanks for a great game.
Thank you.
I got one question. With current project anticipated for after 2023, and as you stated, one of the main factors of transitioning to the next project is keeping the community together. For me, one of the main hurdles that Splitgate faced for me and my friends as we moved to the game was the friend system and the inviting system, and basically just getting together with the community. I know you guys don't want to develop anymore, or well, not don't want to develop anymore, are not looking to develop anymore into this game. But could you do something about it in this 16th of September battle pass? If you could just I don't know, make it so I could see an invite from somebody while I'm in the game. I'm sure that could really help us out and keep the community together and strong. Thank you.
I appreciate the question. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we are going to make any changes to how friends, the functionality of friends for Splitgate. It definitely, I hear you. It's not something that we're happy with, and for the next game, it's something that I have emphasized to the UI UX team many, many times that this needs to be the easiest thing ever to invite friends. It needs to be simple, easy. Anyone can do it. We need people to be able to play with their friends easily. But unfortunately for Splitgate, probably not going to make any changes for that. We do have that update on the 15th, which has the free battle pass, and it's got some bug fixes, but nothing friends, no changes to how friends work.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Dead X or X Dead X. Sorry, I don't mean to butcher your name. You're welcome onto the stage. Yeah, feel free to give us your question.
Right. I'm not gonna get my hopes up because I doubt you're gonna be able to answer these questions, but is the weapon system are the weapons gonna be the same, or is it gonna be, or are the weapons gonna be more like in Halo, like you can have multiple snipers or multiple different SMGs? Like with different
So
names.
yeah. So I don't think we're ready to reveal much about the next game. But we're definitely. I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of guns we really like from Splitgate, and there's also guns we like from other games, and there's also guns that we've thought of that are totally different, that are just our own ideas. I definitely will say we want the next game to have more gun variety. I think we can push it further. Um, we also want the next game to be less of just a Halo meets Portal, right? So it's not just going to be, hey, here's a bunch of Halo guns. That's something we're really trying to move away from. So I think you will be very pleasantly surprised with the guns in the next game.
Right. And will there be campaign?
Oh, I heard the question though. He said, "Will there be
Yeah.
campaign?"
One question only,
I don't.
please. Sorry, guys.
Yes. Well, I was just going to say, I don't think we're answering anything about that unless Hillary wants to. But
Yeah, we're not really talking. I know it's frustrating, but we're not really ready to talk too much about the next game. I'll say this without giving a lot of detail. Our expectation is that when we do finally show you the next game, it's not just going to be, oh, well, we made something prettier. It's that you'll understand that we couldn't just add on to what we're currently making. We had to make a new game to fit what we're designing.
yeah.
D. Franklin, what's up?
So my question is September 15th a hard cutoff for season 2? And have y'all considered using the referral codes as a future transfer of thanking people for playing this one in the new game?
So that will be the cutoff for the battle pass. So a new battle pass will go live on the 15th. So you got to make sure you guys finish the existing one before then. The referral code. So the new. I mean, this is probably too technical, but the new game is going to be. I mean, there's some technical complications here. That it would not be super straightforward to just take that and just, yeah, it's not an easy task. It's something we're looking into on what we can transfer over, if anything.
Okay.
Thanks, Franklin.
Thank you.
Koala Symphony, you're up next. We're almost done here, guys.
You're not talking about gameplay, but I'm just deathly curious. Hopefully you can answer to the best of your ability. Will the new game be an arena shooter, just straight up? And if so, how much of the core gameplay loop that you've so like expertly honed in on Splitgate can be carried over into the new game, despite it being a new engine and all of that?
Yeah. So again, like, I mean, I can appreciate the question. I don't think we're gonna answer any gameplay related things right now. But you know, it's still a FPS with portals, right? It's still, there's a lot of things that we really like about Splitgate that we want to keep doing. And I will, I guess, say you don't have to worry about the gunplay. Like, I mean, it's still going to be a Splitgate game. You know, you're gonna be happy. But I can't say
Understood.
much more than that. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Symphony. All right, final question from Hidden Boxes, and then we'll do concluding thoughts.
Hi, love the game. Question with the movie of the week. Will that be continuing going forward? Like, will we still have a chance to earn that title?
Hillary?
Yeah, that's a perfectly great question. So we right now have always planned to do the movie of the week for at least I think 4 weeks of that. So we'll do the rewards a few more times. Carrying it beyond that, we're not sure. I think it'll be just sort of, it might be a little bit on the interest level, right? So if we're getting different people submitting stuff, we obviously know we have a unique reward on there and a title too to go with it. So we want to make sure that people have the opportunity to earn that in the future. So we'll continue for the time being. But even independent of this decision, we wanted to see what the response was before we decided if we would carry that out long term. So, if you have something to submit, definitely do that because we're still looking at stuff and we'll keep giving out awards for the next few weeks. And then totally isn't even tied actually to this choice to end the development on Splitgate. Is just to see if this program is something people are hyped about and submitting stuff to. As long as we're getting like more content to actually make judgments on, then I think we probably would extend it. But we're TBD on that.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Hidden. Okay, quick message from one of our MVPs. Jibbin Mode says he was here at the start of this game. He'll be here at the start of the next game. I think that sentiment has been shared far and wide from all our
Awesome.
loyal.
Thank you, Jibbin.
Yeah, all our loyal fans and community members. We can't wait to see this go to the next level. Quick housekeeping
Yeah,
items,
and
guys.
I'll just add to that. I mean,
Go
we're
ahead.
getting a lot of questions that we can't answer, but all I will say is this is going to be a game for you guys. This is a game that you will love, truly. That is the goal. We're not trying to go make some crazy, totally different thing that is just an absolute departure. This is a game, we love Splitgate, and we want to make a game that we also, we want to make a new game that we love even more, right?
All right, and on that note of we can't answer everyone's questions, we do have a Reddit AMA. If you go to reddit.com/r/Splitgate, top pinned post there, you can ask any question there on Reddit. Ian will be there for the next hour answering your questions. Also, very, very important. Yeah, make sure you have read our letter. That's all over social media right now and on our website. And also our FAQ, splitgate.com/FAQ. Those are really good resources that answer most everyone's questions that were asked today. If you have any more questions, head over to the AMA or just tag us on Twitter. We'll do our best to answer as many as possible. And I think that wraps it up. Thanks everyone for being here and warmly, and also big props to all of you for not trolling us. Like I know that maybe we were a little bit too overzealous of people not being on ball with their questions, but yeah, thank you for being respectful and giving us your questions directly. So we will we will be staying in touch. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate all the questions and support.
Thanks all.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.